I am the first ever Polish-born British Member of Parliament. My mother, who is sitting in the front row, and I came to this country as immigrants in 1978, on October the 16th, 1978, on the same day that a Polish cardinal was appointed as Pope. And so, of course, Anglo-Polish relations are extremely important to me. Anglo-Polish relations, the relations that we are forming with Warsaw, are a key priority. Of course, we have history. The two countries have history. And we're very proud that the Polish 303 squadron shot down more enemy aircraft than any other squadron in the Battle of Britain. Polish mathematicians and cryptographers came over to Bletchley to help to break the Enigma codes. And of course, Polish soldiers joined the British 8th Army in North Africa and were very, very important to the British 8th Army at Tobruk, El Alamein, and through up to Monte Cassino and beyond. And of course, historically, Poland and Britain have been very close strategic partners. But today, that same partnership is being demonstrated again in the extraordinary proximity and closeness of the cooperation between London and Warsaw in jointly tackling the naked aggression of the Russians in Ukraine. And I would argue, when I go to Warsaw, they tell me that no country in Europe, we may have left the European Union, but we have not left Europe. And many of our friends in Central and Eastern Europe talk to me about how proud they are of the leading role of the United Kingdom in checking that naked aggression from Moscow. My sincere thanks to Professor Nadi Hakim. I met him some time ago in San Marino in Italy, and he's transformed my life ever since. He is a phenomenon. But he's the first man in the world to transplant 2 arms onto a person. And it took him 23 hours to sew each arm on and to connect all the muscles and all the veins and arteries. And then later on, the patient shook his hand to thank him for giving him the use of arms. He travels around the world doing very important surgery, and in fact he's just returned from Nigeria. But that accolade of being the first to transplant 2 arms is something that I always talk about with great passion when I talk about him. He does, of course, in addition to being a leading international surgeon, he, of course, also plays the clarinet to orchestra standard, and he makes bronze busts as a hobby. And he came to see me after our trip to San Marino. I invited him for dinner in the House of Commons, and he said to me, I will make you a bronze bust of anybody you like to raise funds for your constituency. And so I'm very proud that we have here Frédéric Chopin under the Polish colours that will be unveiled shortly. It's been a tremendous honour for me to represent Shrewsbury for the last 18 years. And of course, Shrewsbury, our unique selling point for those of you who haven't been, has more listed buildings than any other town in England. It's a beautiful historic town, and I would welcome any of you for a personal tour around Shrewsbury this summer if you would like to visit our beautiful town. I was elected at the same time as our party chairman, Greg Hands, in 2005, so we've been colleagues for 18 years. And I've dedicated my professional life to fighting socialism. Some of us have left careers in business to become politicians because we believe in fighting socialism. And I speak as the only member of parliament to have been born in a communist country. So I know what state control is and what the ramifications of it are. And I am very, very proud to have been fighting socialism for the last 18 years. But we have a tough battle ahead of us over the next 12 months. But we can win the next general election. It will be tight, but we can win the next general election. And Labour's lead has gone down to less than just about 10 points in the last opinion poll. But we need to raise funds for local campaigns. These elections aren't won by themselves. We politicians need to reach out and ask for support for our local associations. So I'd like to end by thanking David Roberts, who has been my association chairman for the last 3 years. These men and women run local parties, they hold the Member of Parliament to account, and they are unpaid, and they do it because of their belief in the party and because of their belief in the country. I couldn't be here today if it wasn't for the loyalty and support of my association chairman. And the best way I can thank him and all the volunteers in my constituency is to do things like this, to raise funds for the local party to help them. And the last thing I'd like to say is, and there will be something further about this later on, but my beloved mother, if you'd like to stand up, please. This is my beloved mother, who today is 75 years of age. So I would like you all, when you see her, to give her a hug and to wish her a happy birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, it's now my great pleasure to introduce the Conservative Party Chairman, the Right Honourable Greg Hands. Greg was appointed Chairman in February 2023. His previous appointments included Minister for Trade and Minister for London, and he's a Member of Parliament for Chelsea and Fulham and has been since 2005. I don't know what everybody else has noticed, but I've noticed in the last few months that we seem to be getting a party that's getting back in control of itself. Greg, I put that down to you. So come and tell us all about it. A warm welcome, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely fantastic to join you for what I'm sure will be a wonderful evening. And I hope you're enjoying yourselves as much as I am. I thought that was an incredible start to a really unique event. And many happy returns, in particular to Daniel's mother. I think that's extraordinary that Daniel has scheduled this event on his mother's 75th birthday. It's an amazing, amazing plan. And of course, David's introduction, it's actually not down to me, the recovering the party's fortunes. It is actually down to Rishi Sunak, to be absolutely clear, and the setting out of the 5 priorities and delivering on them as well. But I wanted to thank you all for coming out tonight to enjoy the music and to support the party. Your contribution is hugely appreciated. I also want to thank Artur Hoffmann for his upcoming performance tonight in advance. I'm sure we are all in for a magnificent evening. And to thank Daniel and David Roberts for giving me the privilege of joining you here tonight. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. And Daniel is correct. He and I were elected on the same day, 555, the 5th of May 2005. And he has had a fantastic career in the House of Commons. He's an amazing speaker. Whenever I used to be the government's deputy chief whip, and I always thought, gosh, who can I rely on to be able to deliver a really good line in the chamber who wouldn't fluff the line and would hold his or her nerve. And Daniel Kawczynski was very often the person that I would go to as the person to deliver that kind of important line, either to the Prime Minister, to the Minister, or indeed intervening on Labour people or other people who were opposed to us. And he's a great speaker and a very popular colleague around in the House of Commons. And he has a unique backstory. I mean, he's right. Literally, no other Member of Parliament was born in a communist country. I mean, that is an incredible accolade and something that we all pay great heed to as well in terms of that life experience. And someone who has real passion, not least for Shrewsbury. I must say, I was slightly surprised when he said that Shrewsbury had more listed buildings than any other. I think he was careful to say town in Great Britain. Town in Great Britain. You did say town. because I'm not. It's not my job here tonight to speak up for Chelsea and Fulham, but I would be. We might have to go head to head on that competition, but you may well win. But it sounds like I don't think I have been to Shrewsbury. I'm looking forward to coming. Now, I must confess that prior to this evening, my own knowledge of Chopin extended little further than the obvious, that he was one of the greatest pianists in history and that he was Polish. In fact, POSC, which was in my constituency, the Polish Cultural Centre in London, recently had a whole series of Chopin concerts. However, upon doing my research, I discovered that Chopin actually came to Britain in the year before he would pass away, back in 1848. And he did so partly to escape the political turmoil in mainland Europe at that time. Now, 1848, people here with a Polish connection will know that Poland was unfortunately not an independent country at the time. It had a fantastic history before, but would take another 70 years to regain its independence after World War I. But at that time, Chopin, like many others, was very, very welcome here in the UK. And suffering through failing health, Chopin toured the length of Britain, from London to Scotland, to perform concerts in grand houses and wonderful venues for auspicious audiences, including the great and good of society, royalty, and aristocracy. And of course, as a former trade minister, I know that Chopin is not the only fantastic Polish import that we have been fortunate enough to benefit from here in the UK. And indeed, Poland is one of our biggest trading partners today, the biggest investment partners as well. A lot of Polish, incredible thing, when I'm going to mention how often I went to Poland in communist times. I can't pretend to have anything close to Daniel and his mother's experience of communist Poland, but I did go to communist Poland. And it would have been incredible at that time to talk about 34 years later, Polish investment coming into the UK. Everybody knows about UK investment going into Poland, but Polish investment coming into the UK today going both ways. So I went to Poland myself many times between 1986 and most recently, I think last year, from Szczecin to Kazimierz Dolny, from Wrocław to Białowieża National Park. I've been the length and breadth of Poland. And the cooperation with Poland on Ukraine has been absolutely phenomenal. I went to the conference in Warsaw recently on behalf of the UK government on Ukrainian reconstruction as well. And with the strong Polish community here in Britain, my constituency is one of the great centres of the Polish community in the UK. The contributions of those who've chosen to move here and of those who are British-born has been phenomenal. Whether it be in sport, media, science or technology, the Polish community has done and continues to play a big part in our national success. One of my greatest pleasures, you may think that politicians, we appear on Trafalgar Square all the time, but in my 18 years as an MP, I've only once been able to make a speech on Trafalgar Square, and it was for the 90th anniversary of Polish independence in 2008, when I was the guest speaker. Great honour to be there. And here, of course, tonight, we have the shiniest example of the Polish community here in Britain in Daniel, whose dedication to Shrewsbury and to the Conservative Party and all of the other causes dear to his heart is an example to us all. Now, while I am clearly not a historical musical prodigy in the manner of Chopin, I do feel I have an affinity with him in our lived experiences. Because since becoming party chairman, just like Chopin back in the 1800s, I have been dispatched across the country to perform some of the party's greatest hits. And while my venues may not live up to the grandeur of concert halls and historic residences this evening aside, and what a marvellous location this is, I am getting out there with the same enthusiasm and determination to bless everyone with the Conservative message. With the streets of Watford, Margate and Darlington as my stage, I've been declaring proudly what we have achieved in government, why it is so important that voters choose to support us in the local elections 2 weeks today and in the next general election, in particular in Shrewsbury and Atcham constituency. So at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I hope you will indulge me for a couple of minutes more. Evenings like tonight are so important because they give us the chance to raise crucial funds for the party, and please do feel free to bid generously later on, but also because they allow us to remind ourselves what we are doing. Gathered in this room tonight is the lifeblood of the Conservative Party. It is members and supporters like you who keep our party going. You raise the funds that we need to fight elections, you have the conversation with voters to get them on our side, and you put the literature through the door to get our message spread far and wide. So thank you for all that you do. As chairman, I am deeply grateful. Your support enables us to fight an effective campaign, keep the Prime Minister and his fantastic team in government, and will ensure that we keep Labour and our opponents out, both locally and nationally. Because we have a strong record of delivery, and it is a positive message that we have for our country. It is Conservative councils who keep council tax low and high-quality services for residents. So, everything we do has to be focused on promoting and gathering support for the party's agenda in government, halving inflation, growing the economy, reducing debt, cutting waiting lists, and stopping the votes. By supporting the party, you are playing an important role in ensuring we are successful in getting our message to voters that the only way to improve the lives of everyone in this country and ensure we continue to prosper is to vote Conservative at the next election. And I know how committed you are, whether it is fitting in your support for the party around work, family or social commitments, you still make the time and put in the effort. And just like Chopin, I know that there are some of you who battle through ill health or personal difficulties to get out there and spread our message. So thank you very much indeed from the party for coming out tonight. Thank you for supporting Daniel in our party, in Shrewsbury and beyond. I hope you have a very wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you out on the campaign trail in the months ahead. Thank you.
So we are absolutely delighted to welcome Arthur Haftman. Arthur is currently residing in London, but he performs all around the world. He has performed solo recitals across the United Kingdom, Poland, France, Lithuania, Italy, the United States, Slovakia and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to give Arthur Haftman a very, very warm welcome. The next guy needs no introduction at all. I am delighted to invite to the stage Nadi Hakim, an accomplished surgeon, an accomplished sculptor, an accomplished musician, and a real friend to Shrewsbury and Atcham Conservative Association.
Mr. Chairman, my lords, my ladies, your excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to restrict my speech, which I was asked to do by Daniel Kaczynski, just to thank so many of our friends to be here tonight to support Shrewsbury. And I'm really overwhelmed by the presence of so many of our friends in this room, which I'm sure you agree with me, it's a magnificent venue, and I'm so lucky that we have chosen that venue tonight. Now, I'm not going to say much more because I'm going to take advantage of the 10 minutes you gave me to speak. And instead of speaking, I'm going to play with our maestro tonight one concerto. It's a Polish night tonight, and this concerto was written exactly 200 years ago by Karol Kurpinski in 1823. So think about it. I'm talking as a doctor. In academic medicine, there's a say we tell students and doctors, publish or perish. And I think it applies to music. You can play on the piano, but unless you've written what you have thought of, and this is what we've witnessed tonight with the unbelievable music of Chopin. So, publish or perish. And Karol Kurpinski, believe it or not, was the mentor of Chopin. So Chopin used to go and listen to Kurpinski and vice versa. So what I'm going to do tonight is play a clarinet concerto composed by Karol Kurpinski, which I hope you'll enjoy, and I'm going to play it with Maestro Artur Haftmann. Thank you. sculpture of Chopin was commissioned by Shrewsbury, and especially by Daniel Korzun. Now, I would like you to see the features of Chopin. Now, he was hiding here behind this, the flag, the Polish and French flag. I know the Polish don't like to say it, but he is half French. Okay, so behind you'll see the expression of Chopin. You listen to the music for the last half hour, and I think I listen to this music all day, all night. It's fantastic. You'll see the features of Chopin, who is a very sad, melancholic person. He died eventually of tuberculosis. And at the end of his life, now we just finished COVID, he was coughing all the time, and he would not, even his partner, Georges Sand, the famous writer, kicked him out because she could not bear him coughing all the time. But you'll see the features of Chopin, a sad man under the flag of France and Poland.
Lot number 1 is the Chopin Concert Hall Masterpieces 6 LP box, showing here by Gareth's assistant, who'll parade it round the panel. This is a vintage collector's item from 1975 in excellent condition, complete with a 12-page illustrated booklet. And I can start the bidding here, if everyone has a chance to have a good look, I can start the bidding here at just £100. Who'll start me off at £100? £100 immediately bid, so it's against you. 200, sir? 200 with you. It's against you. It's 200. 250 with you, madam. 250. So many bids, I'll take yours, madam. Will you say 300? 300. 400. It's 400 against you already. It's 400 on my left, the lady at the front. Say 500? Say 500. Thank you very much. That's 500. 600. 700. It's a three-way battle here. 700 on my left. 700. Say, try one more. It's 700 on my left. It's with you, madam. 700. You want to go on against yourself? I'd love that. 800. 800. This makes my life very easy. I'll stand here all day. 700. 800. 800 then. It's on my left. Anyone else coming in? It's at £800 then. 900. With you, madam. 900. Professor Nagil. £900 then with the lady on the front row. £900. This is everyone's last chance. I will sell at £1,000 against you. 1,001 immediately against you. It's 1,001 against you, madam. Try one more. It's 1,001 on my left. On the front, to the lady at the front row, it's at 1,001, and I will sell. You've come this far. At 1,001, last chance. Sold. Thank you very much. Lot number 1 for 1,000 for the lady in the front row. Congratulations, madam. Lot number 2 is lunch in a Westminster location with Daniel and an MP of your choice, with a small caveat of not. Is that right? A cabinet secretary apart from the PM. So you've got a lot of good choices. I'm not over-promising, that's under-promising. This is going to be a wonderful occasion. Everyone know the lot? We're on lot number 2, lunch with Daniel and a cabinet secretary, and I would start here at just £800, £900, at £1,000. And he'll start me off at £1,000. £1,000 for 1,000 with you, sir. 1,001, madam. So 1,001 on my right. Thank you very much for coming in, madam. 1,002 on my left. 1,3. 1,4. It's 1,4 on my left. It's not with you, sir. Try 1,5. Thank you very much. 1,6 in a new place. It's against you. It's on there. Would you say 1,7, madam? It's 1,6. 1,7. Thank you. It's against you now, sir. It's 1,7 to the lady behind you. Why don't you come back in? It's 1,7 on my left. 1,8. Thank you very much. Back in. It's at 1,8. It's against you. 1,8 on my right. 1,9. £1,900 then on my left. It's against you, madam. Make it an even 2,000. You've come this far. It's at 1,900 on my left. Anyone else coming in? It's at £1,900 on my left. £2,000. Thank you very much for coming back in, sir. It's at £2,000 against you, Adam. It's at £2,000 at the gentleman on my right in the front row. It's at £2,000. 2002. We say 2-2? 2-2's the next bid. Thank you. Say 2-4, sir. It's at 2-4 on my left. 2-2, I'm afraid. 2-2. Say 2-4. £2,200 on my left, and I can sell at 2,200. This is everyone's last chance to come in. Anyone else coming in? At 2,000. Just in time. Thank you very much. 2004 against you. Just in time. Why don't you say 2-6? It's at 2-4 then. Last chance. You're missing out on the lunch. 2-6 in a new place. I'm afraid you're too late. 2006. It's against you, sir. Try 2-8. 2-8. Yes, exactly. Who's going to make an even 3? It's at 2-8 then. At 2008. 2008. Who's going to make it 3? Are you coming back in, madam? You back in, sir? No. At 2008, and I will sell. Last chance then at £2,800. Sold. Thank you very much. A big round of applause. Because lot number 3 is the magnificent bust by Professor Key, the bust of Chopin, the great son of Poland. Nanny, I'm in awe of you and your talent, and I hope everyone has their checkbook ready because we're going to start at £20,000, at 20, 21,000, 22,000, it's at 22,000, 23,000, at 23, 24,000, 24,000, who's coming in? 25,000 on the front row, thank you very much. 25,000 is bid. It's at £25,000 already on the front row, 25,000. Who's coming in? That's a very dangerous twitch, sir, with your hand. It's at 25,000. It's at 25,000 on my left, I'll assume. 25,000. Someone left at 25. Bid against yourself again, I like that. It's at £25,000. Anyone going on? I can sell at 25,000. Anyone else coming in for the magnificent bust? It's at £25,000. Can't knock it down quite yet, madam. Someone might come in. You're still in the lead at 25,000. Last chance then at £25,000 for the Conservative Party, and I can sell. Last chance at £25,000. Sold. Thank you very much. Congratulations. A huge round of applause. What a privilege it has been to be here tonight supporting Daniel and Nanny. Thank you all so much for having me. Have a wonderful week.